Hi Flosstube. Today is Tuesday, August 31st of the year 2021, and this is my update of what I stitched in August. My name is Daphne, and I would like to say welcome to any of the new subscribers that have recently joined me and my stitching, and I would like to say welcome back to everybody that has been watching me over the past 11 months. October is when I first posted my first video. So we're coming up on 1 year of doing Flosstube videos, which is exciting in itself. And it's crazy to think that I've been doing this for a year. But we shall get into the stitching. First off, I have a finish, and this, I don't have the pattern with me because I put it away, but this is a piece from Michelle Bendy at Bendy Stitchy Designs, and she had done this one in 2000 and I believe it was 19 or 20, for 2019, for Parkinson's, and she was doing a fundraiser that month for Parkinson's, and I liked the chart, so I stitched it, and the fabric that I did it on is 28 count Monaco hand dyed, by Magic Hour Cross Stitch Supplies, and I believe they're out of Canada. If they still have an Etsy shop, I will link them below, but it's a purple, mottled purple. And here is what it looks like all stitched up. This was 1/1, just DMC, and I just used the DMC flosses that I had as extras, so it's not really what she called for or anything in the pattern for this piece, but it says acceptance does not mean resignation. It means understanding that something is what it is and there's got to be a way through it. And I don't know if you can really see it, but I did put my initials in the year right there. This was a Whipco piece for August, and it was to finish this. And I literally only had the rest of Resignation and all of these words to stitch. And I believe I tracked the days, and it took me 4 days to finish those words, because I would do one strand each day. So this is one whip that is now crossed off my list, and I just have to pick out a frame to frame it, and that's what this piece, this blue strand here is, so that I know where the edge of the pattern is, and I can measure from there. And then my other piece for Whipco was, I believe, 7. It was my Scent of Old Roses, which is my Mirabilia, which is in honor of my mother, in memory of my mother. She liked purple and she liked roses, so here is the pattern, and I will insert a picture of where this piece was when I first pulled it out this month. I waited and waited and waited to do it, but I did it. I took it out. I got my 10 days for the month. So here, this is, I have what this is. Hang on 1 second. It's on the back of my photocopied. It's a 32 count Earth and Lugana, and I'm doing it 2/2. And I might do the skin 1/1. I have to do a little research on that. But here is where it is now. When I started this piece, this white wasn't in, the white wasn't in here, the chronic wasn't in, this chronic detailing wasn't in. This side didn't have a lot of this detailing in. I finished this side over here, started working up there. Yeah. So pretty much all the stitching on this half, the bottom half, is done. So now I was just working top up, and what I'll do is probably the next time I pull it out, I'll do a couple strands of the petite, of the whisper thread. That was interesting on this side, working that the first time. So either this side or this side, I'll do a strand or two, and then I'll go up and do some more of the cross stitching and go from there. Most of the holes that you see throughout the piece is where the beads are going to be. So the beads will be the very, very last thing that I do. All the chronic is done here, the detail here. Like I said, the chronic on here, the stems and the lazy daisies are done. Excuse me, same thing on this side. The lazy daisies and stems are done. Yep. So we got 10 days in on this one. And this will hopefully come out again before the end of the year, but if not, it's okay. We will see when, you know, what prompts, ouch, I decide to stitch on and whatnot. And the piece that I'm working on for my best friend that I never show, but I talk up saying my stitch count on it each month. I got, let me go to that page of my little book here. Whoops, this way. That one this month got 4,066 stitches. I used that one for a monthly focus piece in Semi-Sane Stitchers, and that piece you need to do 1,000 stitch increments. So I do at least 1,000 stitches on that one every month. And that one currently is at, let me pull it up here real quick. That piece is currently at 88,278 stitches out of 486,500. So I have 400,000 approximate stitches left to do on that. And that one is 1/1 on 28 count using DMC. Another piece that I've been doing a lot of work in is the model stitch that I'm working on. And that one is almost finished. Hoping to get it finished in September, so that I can get it washed and pressed and get it sent out to the designer, so she can have it. It's a full coverage piece, and that one, I think it's about 6,000 stitches I have left on it. Let me just double check here on my phone. I have a stitching app that I keep track of. And go here. Yeah, there's 4,253 stitches left on that. And that one I work on. I try to work on it every day and get, 200 to 300 stitches a day. In the last 4,000 stitches. So, yay! And then I did do a little bit of work the other day on the Game of Thrones piece, which is all the characters from the movie series, or TV series, movie, and I'll just put in a picture. It's just as easy to do that. I use this for my Stitch With Me that I just did a couple days ago. I had about 200, 300 stitches in that day that I worked on it. I got 100 and something in with the Stitch With Me. So I finished out this diagonal and I started up on this diagonal here. 1/1, 28 count, with the DMC called for. And an 11 by 11 Q-snap, so it does take me a little while to go through to move the Q-snap frame. And all my park threads. I do hope to get some work done on this month. It is scheduled in for the plans. And I know I showed this at the beginning in the video for July, because I did it a little bit later in August. And I had already worked on this piece for this month, but I'll show it again just in case you didn't watch that video or this is your first one. So yeah, this is Cinderella's castle. And I'm just working down here in this. I got the tree and part of the castle, and I was working, I think, on some of the ground. I might have gone up a little bit. This was a kit that I received from a friend, so I'm using all the called for in the kit, the called for fabric, floss, everything, and the fabric is 24, 14 count blue Navigator. So using all the called for floss and everything, and it's gonna be a big gown when she's finished. So here is where it is this month. And I only work on this one for Enchanted Stitches, is another one of the groups that I used to find out what I'm going to stitch on for the month. And they theme their stitching prompts around Disney movies each month. So I use this piece only for that stitching. So it only gets maybe 2 hours a month in it. So I think I worked on the lighter of the two browns here this month for August. So we're getting there slowly but surely. It's fun. Sometimes I'll work on it in hand if I forget my Q-snap. Sometimes I'll pull out the Q-snap and work on it. Doesn't bother me whichever way I work on it. It's fine for me to do it both ways. So that one, this I'll work on again for this month, for September, because the next video is Snow White. So this will get worked on while I watch the video. So there's that piece. And then I just pulled this one out last night and got a little bit of stitching done in it. And it's the only sampler I have. And it is the 3 Things sampler by Mora Blackburn. And I'm enjoying it. I got quite a bit done yesterday. Worked on it for 3 to 4 hours, I think, yesterday. And that was all I put in. I think I got a pretty good chunk in. I do need to get one more color. Didn't realize I didn't have it. So there's going to be one of the flowers up here is going to be without its color because I didn't realize I didn't have their color. But doing this, everything called for floss, called for fabric. And that is 32 count flax by Witchelt, and I'm doing it 2/2. And I'll show you the big version of it first, and then we'll go in closer. So here's the whole thing. I did the border for a challenge, a prompt at one point. So let's fold this up so we can just get a little closer to what I worked on this week. I folded in half because I didn't do much on that side. So what I did, these are just thread ends that I need to work in. Like I said, this flower here is missing the color because I didn't realize that I didn't have that color. I needed to fill in a little bit of the vine here, so I did that. I did these flowers. I continued this line over until I ran out of floss, and then I did the G and the H. I was gonna go just page by page, but I think I'm just gonna go across the top row of pages and then just keep going this way. And this needle minder here says resting stitch face. That was in one of the Black Needle Society bi-monthly subscription boxes. I don't remember exactly which one, but that's that one there. So this one would like to pull out again for sampler September, but I think I have it listed. We'll go over that in just 1 minute, because I believe this is my last piece that I worked on. I kind of was feeling just working on a few pieces this month versus working on a whole bunch of pieces. The movie in Enchanted Stitches was Hercules, and I didn't really have much that fit with those prompts. There was one that fit with those prompts, and that one was my one of my best friend's pieces. And I had a couple another one slated in there, but I didn't. That was the three things sampler I had slated, but I didn't start it till yesterday, and I knew that I was going to be doing this video today. And it just wasn't going to leave me any time to get 700 stitches. So it happens. Some months I can get all the prompts done and no problem, and then there are some months that I just can't fit any of my projects in with the prompts, which is okay. The type of person, I'm not going to start a million things just to have projects meet those prompts for that month. Because if I start something for that month, it may not fit another prompt ever again, and I just have this project that's just sitting there doing nothing. I'd rather have projects that I actually want to work on and stitch on and go from there, versus, oh, now I need to start this one because it fits with this prompt, and then by the end of the year I have like 100 some odd whips and only 5 or 6 get worked on. I know people do that, and that's fine with me. I like to watch people that have a lot of whips and see all their progress on their whips, but for me, stitching and having a lot of whips, it's just too much. And I've started to think about what I want to do for next year as my plans, and going through what I want to do for next year. But I do have a little bit of haul, and it's kind of mixed in with my starts and plans for September. So we'll just start going in the plans for September. So this is what my whip go board looks like. The numbers for this month for September was 15 and 25. So 15 is 10 days on Quick Stitch Holiday, which is, as everything's falling down behind me, I believe this is the piece here. I don't know if I have a picture. Just looking at all my pieces of paper here. I think this is just the chart, the floss colors. Oh, I do. Gotta put this back in the bag. So this is Quick Stitch Holiday, Heaven and Earth Designs, Amy Stewart artwork. This is just one corner of a Stitch in Time. This is a Stitch in Time holiday. So this one here will get 10 days. And I'm down here in this part. I started in the bottom right-hand corner. So I'm working my way towards the snowman. And this is 28 count Lugana 1/1 with the DMC Floss. And this is where it is currently. Doing my diagonals a little different on this one. Usually I work from the top down and then go back to the top down, top down, top down. This one I'm working, I believe it would be, if I start at the top and end at the bottom, then I go from the bottom to the top, just doing the little zigzag all the way up. And this was another Black Needle Society. This was Date With Your Stitching. Stitching Hearts is what it says. I don't have a Christmassy needle minder. Or, not Christmassy, but a winter needle minder. So I just stuck this one on there. So this one will get at least 10 days worth of work. So that'll be fun to see where this one gets to in 10 days. I've actually been kind of missing this piece, not working on it. And the next one for Whipco was A New Start. This is part of Haul as well, but it is this one here. This is from Stitching Jules Designs, and this is NYC Twin Tower Scene. This was before 9/11, and I'm gonna start this piece on 9/11 itself, as we're coming up upon the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I'm sure everybody knows where they were on 9/11. I was actually on my honeymoon with my ex-husband. So we weren't even in the state, we weren't even in Massachusetts when 9/11 happened. We were in Florida. And we had gone about our day like everybody else that morning. And we had actually gone to Animal Kingdom, I think it was. And we were in the attractions and stuff, and we had somebody walk up to us and just say, "Excuse me, we need to leave now, we're closing the park." And we had no idea. We didn't watch the news that morning. We had already, we left our cabin early in the morning, went and had breakfast and then went to the parks. And then we started hearing things once we got on the tram. And just like everybody else, we were kind of in shock. Like, no, that couldn't have happened. And then when we got back to our cabin and we actually turned on the news and saw everything that was happening, it was like, okay, yeah, this is really happening. And we also weren't sure if we were even going to make it to fly back into Boston, because that's where those planes had originated from, and that's where we needed to land a couple days later, that Sunday, I think, is when we were flying home. But it was, I'll remember that day for forever. So that's what this piece is. I believe Vicky, Stitch and Button, started the Sal. I believe it's Remembering 9/11 Sal, the hashtag. I'll put it in the box below. So if you have something that, any piece that reminds you of 9/11, or you want to start something in honor of that, join in. I'm also going to I just got to figure out where it's going to go. I'm working on charting up in backstitch part of President Bush's quote, his speech, sorry, that he spoke that night on the piece of fabric. But I'm not quite sure. I'm just going to call for DMC Floss. But my thing is, I'm not quite sure which fabric I want to use. Here's some of the flosses that are needed. I just have to go through and grab the rest of the floss. But I'm not sure which one I want to use. I don't know if I want to use Sandy Bottom from Fortnite Fabrics, which is more of a brown, to make it look like the ground. And it's 28 count. I don't know if I want to use this one. It's a more of a browny, light brown sandy color with these. There's more colors as well, but these are just the ones that I pulled out and bought some of that I needed. Or do I want to use Shark Fin, which is more of a gray, blue-gray, from Fortnite Fabrics as well. And it's going to be 1/1, because I have these fabrics, so I figured, you know what, I'm not going to buy fabric when I have fabric already. But this, if I can get, there we go. So here's the Shark Fin. What I'll do is I'll get more of the colors, and do a floss toss and see which one. I still have, 12 more days to get that all together. But that's going to be my new start for that whip-go spot. So, whoops, that doesn't go in there. That goes in there. That goes in there. So with that, I will have one more new start for the year that is planned. I do have a couple others that I'm going to be starting here within the next few days. I'm going to show them, but that's those. So the ones that haven't been called yet is this one here, the Yoda for a finish, 3 things sampler again for another 10 days. Finishing out my teacher's piece. This one here, another every day, it's the same piece. One more new start. And my thinking is what's going to happen to me is that number 5 and number 16 are going to be called on the same month. So we will see what happens with that. That one might be let's do it 1 square for 1 month, and then the following month do the 2nd square. If it comes in December, then we'll see what happens. We'll come to that when we get to that point. And so my Enchanted Stitching group, they're doing things a little different this month. They're not doing the monthly challenges this month. It's only weekly and the watch party. So it kind of doesn't throw a wrench in my plan because I still get to work on my pieces. But it's a different spin than what I'm used to. Because I'm used to the monthlies where you have 10 prompts, so many stitches each prompt, and you have the whole month to work on that. With the weekly, you have just that week to work on those. And there's anywhere from 8 to 9 prompts for each week. There's 3 weeks that they have prompts, and then the 4th week is another prompt to watch something else and stitch. So another one that I would that I received in the mail is I took part in a giveaway on Jan Hicks Creates on her channel. She was giving away this this book here with from the Fat Quarter Shop when they were doing their Kaleidoscope Stitch Along and the Kaleidoscope Sew Along, and it actually has a cross stitch pattern in here as well as all the quilting patterns that you need for the quilts. I'm just trying to find the the cross stitch. So here is the Kaleidoscope cross stitch. Here's the cool version and the warm version. And it also contains different colorways in here. So there's lavender, summer colorway, forest colorway, ocean colorway, cranberry colorway, and sunshine colorway. So I commented on that giveaway and I won. Hence, I got the book. So I won the giveaway. So it was this book, and it was also the Kaleidoscope Floss Keeper, which has the Kaleidoscope cross stitch pattern on it. It's nice and heavy too. And it came with the flosses for every colorway that the Kaleidoscope pattern was called for, to whichever way you wanted to do it in. And it also came with the 14 count, I believe, yep, 14 count Ada fabric flare. So we got this, and I'm actually thinking a pattern that was on my wish list when I saw the giveaway. I was like, oh, I like that. So I entered it, and this is actually, we'll start it this week, and we will go from there. This is not going to be my Whipco Start. Whipco Start is the 9/11 piece. Because the way that these ones are going this month is you can either do 50 stitches, if you're counting stitches, 50 stitches, 100 stitches, or 200 stitches, as those are the levels. If you don't want to count stitches, you can count hours. So the first level is 30 minutes, 1 hour, and 2 hours. So if I feel after 30 minutes I don't want to work on it no more, I can be done and call it a day. But I tend to count my stitches, but I might not count on that one because it's not in Pattern Keeper. But that doesn't stop me from counting. And then another one is a project that you wish you could finish this month, or this year. I wish I could finish this one. It would just be a big piece off my plate, but it's not anywhere near being finished. This one is at, let me just look really quick in my app here. Game of Thrones. This one is at 179,734 out of 453,750. So I'm not even halfway done. I'm only 40%. But that's okay. I still enjoy it. It'll be nice when I not have to worry about all the dark colors. As I get further down on this piece, there are some lighter purples and stuff, so that'll be nice. That'll be a change. And then another prompt is related to music or singing, and I chose my teacher's piece. This is where it's at, because there are music teachers. This is the second one, but that's okay. I have 2 going. This one's on 14 count, I believe. Yeah, the other one's on 22, I think. But this one's gonna go to a friend, so I'll probably work on this, use this one for that. And I'm also gonna use it for related to something that I do all day, as I was a teacher for a long period of time. And then another one that you can do, another prompt is for the movie. is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So all the prompts get tied into that for what you stitch on, and you're going to tie them in somehow to the prompts. So for a project that isn't fun anymore, I might stick the Game of Thrones in. It's still fun, I still enjoy it. I'm just getting tired of the darker colors. I enjoy my projects. I enjoy all my projects, but I enjoy the projects that have multiple colors. Kind of breaks it up a little bit. And then there's another one related to bathing or cleaning. Haven't figured that one out yet. The project with a silly story, one of my best friend's pieces. We always had great times, and I can make up a story, how to connect that to the silly. And a project related to someone you love, once again, the Game of Thrones piece, because that is for my boyfriend. So that's for the first week. So that would be September 5th through 12th. And then the second week is 12 through 19. And that was a thread with snow, so B5200, white, ecru, off-white, those type of things. I was going to do a quick stitch holiday, because those have some, I believe there's B5200 in it, I got to double check on that. A project with words, once again, will be my 3 things sampler, because there's words on that. A project that's made you grumpy, I'm going to use my pandemic. It has nothing to do with the stitching at all. I love the stitching, my fabric I love, the color I love, the color of floss I love. For me, the fact, what's making me grumpy about it is when I ordered the fabric, I ordered it too small. So I have to do this 1/1. So we lose some of the detail with the back stitching and things, but we'll work around that. I will figure something out. So we're going to work on this piece in September. And this is 1/1 on 30 count. Barley corn. Excess commodities. So that'll come out. It's gonna, for a project that makes me happy, because like I said, I enjoy the colors. Color purple is my favorite color. And it's nice just to be able to just stitch and get quite a few stitches done within a short time, since it's just one color. And for a project that lulls you to sleep, I haven't decided that one yet. That might be the birth sampler that I'm working on for a family member. A project with something cute. I have pulled out a set of baby things just to have on hand. And I do not have the photo for this or the pattern, because this came to me from a friend. So if anybody can help me figure out even just a picture of it, would be great. It's this baby quilt here. I'll insert the pictures that I took of it. There's stars on it, and it says I am, and then down here it says loved. There's a bear right here. There's a rabbit over here. I would just like to see a picture, just so that I can go, I can make any colors that I want. But I would just like to see it really, just to see what it looks like. I've been searching, haven't quite found it yet, but I'm sure I can figure something out. And then a project that might make you sneeze, that has something that might make you sneeze. I'm using my best friend's piece, because there's feathers, and sometimes feathers, they tickle your nose and make you sneeze. And I'm going to use that same piece again for a project without words or hair. There's no words on this piece. There's no hair on this piece. Yeah, because the animal that's in it doesn't have hair, and there's no words. So, perfect. And then another piece that I'm going to work on this month, it was said related to witches or apples, and I'm pulling out my Halloween sampler because there's a witch and there's there was an apple. Yeah, there's caramel apples up here in the word happy. There's also black cats, and what you see around witches. So I'm pulling this piece out, and this one I'm hoping to possibly finish. We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen, but I just got the top row up here. I've got what's on this side, the other pumpkin, the other ghost with the pumpkin head plus the stack of pumpkins, and 4 cats on the bottom that are doing with multiple other little objects. So we'll see. I'll probably just start up on the top. Maybe finish out the bats and finish them. Do the pumpkin that's over here. I think he's a pumpkin. Yeah, he's a pumpkin with a cat. So finish him. And then come down here and do the ghost with the pumpkin head. So yeah, just working from top down and finishing this out. I would like to finish it and get it done for this year. We'll see. All called for kit supplies. I believe it's 14 count Ada. So that'll come out for this month. And stitch on a project that you can't tell what it is will be the 9/11 piece. Because it's just going to be the very starting of that. So it'll only have a few stitches in from the previous day. So you won't be able to, nobody will be able to tell what it is. And then the third week, which is the 19th through the 26th, is you're going to work on one project, and you can do it for 7 stitches for 7 days. The next level you can do is 1 hour for 7 days, or you can do 7 hours in 1 day on that one project. And if you can tie it to the number 7, then you get bonus points. So I haven't decided which project I'm going to do for that one yet, or what level I'm going to do. And then the last week is the 27th through the 30th, and it is to watch Disney's first feature, The Making of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and there's 3 tiers, just like every other day. The first 3 weeks, the same tiers apply, but the points are a little different. 1 point for Noble, 3 points for Knight, and 4 points for Royal. Noble is you watch and do nothing. Knight, you watch and stitch on any project. And Royal is you watch and stitch on a Disney-related piece, whether it's Disney or Snow White. Things like that. So, I think, I got one more piece of, part of this is haul, part of it is not. This is the piece, I don't know if I showed it in the video I did at the beginning of August. This is Sunflowers, Mary Ann Broom, Heaven and Earth Designs. I've had this piece for a while, and I've been wanting to start it. This piece is actually going to be the fabric from my temperature chart that I was doing for 2020. I'm just going to reuse that fabric for this piece. This should fit on there. 1/1. It's going to be stitch size 14 by 11. So we should fit on that. And I'm going to start up here and just do my diagonals and work. So I have some of these I had in my own supply. This is not all of them. As you can see, what I do is I just highlight the colors that I have. And if there's one that has, like over here, this color has 3, I only have 1. And I know these numbers were picked for 25 count, and I know 28 count you're going to use less, so I only buy 1 to start if there's multiples, and go from there. But the highlighted ones over here are the ones that I have. So there are you know, my pages, I don't have a lot of the colors, but these colors that are highlighted will get me the first few pages of this chart in particular. And the first couple bits is just this background. So I won't be getting to many of these, but like I said, some of these I already had in my stash. Some of them I did buy from Fire Poppies. This will be a start in October for the person that I'm going to be giving this to. I will start this in October. And I believe with that, that is everything for this month that I stitched on in August, and what my plans are to do for September. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. But yeah, so with that, I will say I hope everybody has a great week, a great month. I hope you guys get a lot of stitches in on your projects, whether you're doing them full cross, 10 stitch, back stitch, black work, fancy specialty stitches, whatever the stitch may be. I hope that you all get some stitches in on your projects, and I hope that you continue to stitch on projects that make you happy and that you enjoy. And if you do find those projects that aren't making you happy, you're not enjoying them, then don't force yourself to work on them, because that's just going to make you not enjoy the hobby. And for me, I want to enjoy the hobby that I'm doing. So if it's finding a project that I really, really like, then I'm going to do that. If I'm not enjoying it, hence the temperature chart, I'm not going to work on it anymore, because I hadn't pulled that out for months. And it just wasn't bringing me anything. So just cut my losses and turn the fabric around, and I will start it with something new on it. So yeah, I will see you guys all in October, and I hope that September finds you well and that you all stay safe and sound. And with that, I will say bye everyone, and we'll see you in October. Have a good one. Bye everyone.